There are thousands of roller coasters all over the world, for you to ride. So why waste your time on those garbage ones? We're here to tell you the top 10 best roller coasters in the world. Just really quick before we get into this video, we're going to explain what we mean by the best roller coasters in the world.
So these are the coasters that are liked by pretty much everyone. Coaster enthusiasts, just the general public, really just all around good roller coasters.
Because so many rides are either liked by the general public or enthusiasts. Like you might have a dive coaster like Valraven at Cedar Point. This roller coaster is seen by so many just regular park goers. They see this huge, tall coaster, hangs you over the edge, it has a good gimmick, and people line up for it like crazy. It gets huge, long lines. But then you talk to enthusiasts and they tend to be
they
like,
say, it's not that good. Or you have something, or you have something like Intimidator 305 at King's Dominion that doesn't really get long lines because the general public thinks it's too intense, but roller coaster enthusiasts love the intensity, and that's one of their favorite roller coasters.
What we did is we took some coasters around the world, not necessarily ones that we've ridden. We've ridden some of these, but not all.
We've ridden some, but not all of them. So this isn't our personal 10 favorites. This is just all around the best roller coasters.
So these roller coasters are loved, like you said, by both enthusiasts and general public alike. They come together. And one more thing. If you're new to this channel, thank you for coming and joining us. Please go down and subscribe if you like what you see and give the video a thumbs up.
Do you like what you see? I mean, what isn't to be liked?
Exactly. And if you're already a subscriber, thank you for coming back. We appreciate you guys so much. And if you want to do a little bit extra for this channel and get extra perks, you can go down below into the description and there's a link to a channel membership page.
Memberships.
And you can be like one of these fine people. And they join the monthly membership. And
they support us, and they get exclusive videos, exclusive posts, exclusive shout-outs, all sorts of exclusive stuff.
They get to vote on things like what kind of videos we do.
What kind of videos, what our next videos are going to be, all sorts of stuff. It's really cool.
But that's it for that. Now we are getting straight into this video at number 10. What's number 10?
Number 10, we're going all the way to Japan at Nagashima Spotland, and that is Hakugei, which is an RMC hybrid coaster, and I've heard nothing but good things about this ride. It's supposed to be kind of like a bigger RMC combined with a smaller one. It's supposed to give you tons of airtime, have great pacing, and it's just supposed to be one of the best coasters in the world.
Now, RMCs tend to be loved by enthusiasts, but this is also just loved by like the regular public over there in Japan and visitors for Japan. Okay. And at number 9, we are staying in Japan, but we are going over to a different park, Fuji-Q Highland, where you have Eejanaika. Eejanaika is kind of, if you've ever been out to Six Flags Magic Mountain in Valencia, California, it's kind of like X2 out there. That was made by Aerodynamics. And it's kind of like not a free spin coaster.
Yeah, it's a controlled spin, but it feels like you're freely, like the seats themselves rotate as you're going on the ride. So it is very similar to that, but not exactly the same. Actually, Eejanaika is a clone of another coaster in China called Dynaconda. So I guess we're just combining both of these.
But it was made by S&S.
Yes, it is made by S&S. Both Dynaconda and Eejanaika are made by S&S.
So S&S bought out kind of the remains of the dying Aerodynamics, which died out because of the roller coaster X2 at Six Flags Magic Mountain. But this roller coaster, some enthusiasts have it as their number one
coaster overall.
Yeah, number one coaster overall that they've ridden. So it's coaster enthusiast favorite. And it also just gets like huge lines out there.
Right. Hours. I've heard that it gets hours and hours and hours and hours long lines. Number 8, we're going to another side of the world, to a whole nother continent. And the country is Poland, and the park is Energylandia, and the coaster is Zadra. This is another RMC coaster. It's an RMC Hyper Hybrid. People love these. There's only 3 of them in the world, and they're just... This ride isn't as focused on airtime as some of the other RMCs are. It's more focused on like whippy transitions, and it has a really good stall. and all sorts of stuff, and it's just supposed to be amazing.
Yeah, it's one of my top bucket list coasters.
Absolutely.
If I ever get over to Poland. Now coming in at number 7, we are moving over here into the United States finally. We are going down to Santa Claus, Indiana, to Holiday World, a park that we just visited for the great event Halloween Nights. And we rode this wonderful coaster, Voyage. Now, Voyage is a gravity group. It's kind of like a hybrid coaster because it has steel supports, wooden track. But this ride, so if you know anything about the roller coaster at Hershey Park called Sky Rush, you know that it's just crazy intense and like whips you around everywhere and you feel like you're just ragdolling. Well, that's a steel coaster. Well, this is the wooden version of Sky Rush.
Yeah, this ride throws you around like no other coaster. It is crazy. Well, like Sky Rush, but no other like wooden coaster. It is insane. And it's crazy in the daytime, but at Halloween Nights, it gets like 100 times crazier because they turn off the trim brakes on the mid-course brake run, and it is pitch black.
Pitch black.
It's one of the most intense coasters in the world. It is a wild ride. And coming in at number 6 is another roller coaster that we have ridden down at Busch Gardens, Tampa. It is Iron Gwazi.
Oh, I like that one.
Just like Zadra, it is a RMC Hyper Hybrid, and we can talk about this a little bit more since we've ridden it. It is crazy, insanely intense, some of the craziest airtime.
Pacing.
Period.
Pacing is that's what this roller coaster is known for. The pacing now, if you're not an enthusiast and don't really know what we're talking about, pacing is just how well it keeps up its speed. So many roller coasters will go up a hill and then down
and you're going really fast.
Yeah, you're going really fast, but then it starts to kind of maybe take an inversion or something like that, and then it starts to slow down.
Really slow down.
Iron Gwazi, one of the inversions, and usually you start to slow down during inversions.
Because you're like going up a little bit through inversions, but there is a certain inversion on Iron Gwazi
called the death roll. You're twisting, going down it, and it's just like one of the best elements that I've ever experienced on any roller coaster before.
It's wild because you're like picking up speed while you're on it. It's just an overall amazing coaster.
Number 5, we're going over to Holiday Park in Germany for Expedition GeForce.
Now, Expedition GeForce is a Intamin mega coaster, I guess. It's under 200 feet tall, so I don't know what you would call it, but it's just a classic. It's just a coaster that everybody, especially roller coaster lovers, know because it's just a classic. It's old, but it's still one of the best coasters even now. It has some crazy airtime, and it's basically what I've heard is that it's Millennium Force, but what it should have been. It's way more intense, it has better airtime, the bank turns are better, it's just an overall better ride than Millennium.
Can we trade? Because Cedar Point is our home park, so can we trade Millennium for Expedition GeForce? And now we're at number 4. It's a roller coaster out in Jackson, New Jersey at Six Flags Great Adventure. It is called El Toro. Now, when this ride is actually operating and isn't flying off its track and going down from huge potholes,
when it's staying on the track,
this thing is amazing.
Unbelievable.
It's known by me as the roller coaster with the best first drop that I've ever experienced. You're coming, well, not straight down, but you're coming down at a very steep incline, and it's got this huge head chopper right down as you're going down at the bottom, because you kind of go straight into the structure of the roller coaster. El Toro is known for airtime. It's known for laterals. It's known for quick banks,
and
like
the rolling thunder hill.
Ooh, rolling thunder hill. I don't even know what that is. Well, that sounds pretty good to me.
And roller coaster enthusiasts love that part of the ride, and it's just. This is a very much a roller coaster enthusiast ride, and everyone likes it, but it is just so legendary among roller coaster enthusiasts. We had to put it in because it just so loved, but everyone loves it. It's by far the best coaster at Six Flags Great Adventure. The reason to go there.
Exactly. That's what I was about to say. If you didn't say it, I was about to say it.
Unfortunately, there's not really a reason to go right now because El Toro is closed and King Ka is closed. So
what do you got? Nitro? Nitro is not on this list.
Nitro is fun. It should be number 1. It's number 11, I think.
Okay.
Number 3. This is the top 3. Top 3 greatest
Top
roller
3
coasters
people.
in the whole wide
Pay attention
world.
right here. Take your notes.
Take your notes. Number 3, Jurassic World VelociCoaster at Universal's Islands of Adventure. A perfect coaster. It is perfect.
I love it.
We've ridden it, and it is pretty much perfect in every way. It has incredible theming. It has launches. It has speed inversions. It has a top hat. It's perfect. It has long lines. That's the one thing that isn't perfect about it.
The Mosasaurus roll?
The Mosasaurus roll is one of the craziest
Don't even get me
elements.
started on the Mosasaurus roll.
It is, I can't really describe it, but it is just an amazing coaster, and it just all around, I mean, this could really be number 1. It is tough. These top 3 all could be number 1, but this ride is just perfect by coaster enthusiasts, regular people. I think most anyone who rides it, it's probably their favorite coaster that they've ridden.
Now, the Mosasaurus roll that I just spoke about, that is what Maverick at Cedar Point was kind of supposed to have. Whenever Maverick first opened up, it was built with what they called a heartline roll. So you kind of like twist through, you come through the track, and it's like kind of a straight, just kind of twist. Mm-hmm. And they found it to be too intense for people, too intense for the track, and it just wasn't sustainable. So Cedar Point took it out. But Intamin, who then years later made VelociCoaster, said, okay, now we've perfected this, and now it's called the Mosasaurus roll for Jurassic
World VelociCoaster.
Yes. Now we're coming in at number 2. Number 2 happens to be my favorite roller coaster overall. It is at our home park, Cedar Point, Sandusky, Ohio. It is Steel Vengeance. This is the 3rd and last hyper hybrid, the RMCs that we have on our list. We had Zadra, we had Iron Gwazi, and now Steel Vengeance. This thing, if you've ever been to Cedar Point, you know that a lot of the rides get huge long lines, but Steel Vengeance is probably the longest because this is, and it's not even the brand new roller coaster. It's been out for 5 years now, but you still get huge, crazy lines. Everyone loves this ride. Intensity, airtime. The only time that this coaster really lets up is during a pretty long mid-course brake run. But even into that, you hit some airtime going into the mid-course brake run.
Especially going down.
And then going down has a little head chopper, and you get some airtime if you're in the back.
Now with this ride, I don't think any other coaster I've heard more people say, this is my favorite coaster I've ever ridden. Just anybody. I just hear people getting off, that was the best coaster I've ever ridden.
Because we ride it all the time, so we're constantly hearing people behind us if we're sitting not in the back.
In front of us, on the sides, up and down.
People in line talking about it, so we know.
This is my favorite coaster I've ever ridden. I like it more than the Blue Streak.
People love, I mean, a little bit more than Blue Streak, not much, but people love it. So that was number 2. We got through 9 coasters out of this top 10.
So is that it?
That is not it, because that was 9 out of 10. So we have one more coaster. So why don't you tell them what number 1 is, and I'll play the drums.
Okay. What is the best coaster in the world? Fury 325 at Carowinds in Charlotte, North and South Carolina. This ride actually goes between both states. It goes in North Carolina and it goes in South Carolina. It's really cool.
That's good enough to make it number 1 by itself.
Now this is a B&M Giga coaster. It is the tallest roller coaster in the world with a chain lift. And it's perfect. It's really tall, it's really fast, it's really intense, but not like too intense. It has great airtime, great transitions, it is really smooth. It has a great night ride, it has tunnels, it has lights in the tunnels, it has super comfortable restraints. I love it, you love it. It's just perfect. It's so re-rideable too, and it's
very re-rideable.
It's just a great,
except for those long lines that it gets, because so many people just love it.
It's just a crowd pleaser.
So you called that a crowd pleaser, but we can call all of the top 10 crowd pleasers because they are indeed the top 10 best roller coasters in the world. So why don't you people at home go down in the comment section and leave maybe your top 10 or something like that, and like what you think are the best coasters in the world. Because like you said,
what's your favorite coaster that you've ridden?
Yeah, these aren't necessarily our favorites.
My favorite coaster is not Fury. Your favorite coaster is not Fury, but we think it's the all-around best coaster.
Best coaster in the world. So thank you guys for watching. Please come again next time we do a video right here on
Beachcliff Studios.
See ya.